Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm off today. Even though I should have been doing this earlier, I was resting. Been a long day at been a busy week at my job, but I thought I'd come here with a DCWA update for you guys. DCWA, in case you don't know, is my CAW league, my Creative Wrestling League. Um, it's kind of like, well, it's kind of in the same veins as what you hear CCL, which is called Champions League. ACW, which is Anime Championship Wrestling, and so forth. So, so basically that's what it is. The Creative Wrestling League, which basically is a wrestling promotion or league that we as fans, as gamers, create with the wrestling video games. And again, I'm here to let you guys know what's going on. Now, I've talked about it before, and I'm going to talk about it again because we're getting closer to 2016. As we get closer to that time frame, things are definitely going to be changing. In a sense. You see, I'm going to try to close out this year with DCWA, courtesy of 2K14, with the last CPV possibly, which is CPV, which is a CAW term for created pay-per-view, or created per-view. Basically, CPV is the created equivalent, or CAW equivalent of pay-per-view, if you catch my drift, although it's free. So, anyway, my goal is to try to do that before the year's out. And then in 2016, because I'm currently working on creating the roster as we speak, 2016 will see a resurgence, if you will, a reboot, if you will, of DCWA as DCWA 2.0. And what that means is you'll still see some characters brought over, maybe more improved, more different, well not different, but more improved, more closer to what you, facially, to what you would want to see them as, even if it's courtesy of photo scans or picture scans or something like that. So, there will be characters that you've seen in the previous incarnations of DCWA that are being brought in, being created, downloaded, as well as there'll be some new additions as well. There'll be some new characters, some new CAWs that I've created, that I've downloaded, that you'll be seeing in DCWA 2.0 / next gen, if you will, starting next year. And now you're probably asking, okay, Brian, what does 2.0 mean? What does next gen mean? Well, 2.0 and next gen is basically is a short term. It's a short temporary term for DCWA being on the next gen consoles, the PS4s and stuff like that. That is the term. That is basically what a lot of people, well, not a lot, but some people are using to kind of present their CAW league or the CAF league, which is created fighting, if you will. The CAW league or the CAF league, which is short for creating fighting, which is mostly used with the UFC games. Basically, it's just a temporary term that a lot of CAW leagues promotions are going to be doing, possibly to kind of distinguish the difference between what you saw on 2K14 and what you're seeing now with 2K16. Now, I'm not saying that there's going to be a lot of people a lot of CEW league or promoters or promotions that are going to do that. There are CEW leagues and promotions that are going to stick with the last gen consoles because even though you may not have certain privileges or abilities, like I said, or access to certain things with the next gen consoles, they stick with the last gen because they're easier to navigate and they're more recognizable. Now, again, that's just if anybody continues doing the last gen console versions of 2K16. The next gen console versions, like what I have, a lot of people are doing a next gen, they're putting the next gen or 2.0 or 1.5 term, even if it's temporary, right next to this, the promotion, the league's name. So that way, again, like I said, it distinguishes the fact that this is now on a much more advanced console. This is on basically a 1080p, this is being presented or being created and done on essentially a 1080p console. Now, here's the thing. I would have probably I was going to do this anyway, whether I got a new TV or I didn't. But, you know, for someone like me to do this, it's a big deal. I mean, I was planning on doing it last year with 2K15, except that was nothing more than a beta test version. It was I hate to say it, I mean, they did the best to kind of give us a taste of what we were going to get, but quite honestly, it was abysmal, is what it was. 2K15 was just an abysmal piece of crap. You know, I mean, again, like I said, they did what they could. They did introduce some features that they brought back with this new one. But it essentially was a piece of crap. It was essentially a piece of crap. And again, I don't know what they were thinking, but thankfully they've improved on that. And the one thing about 2K16 is at least they're going to be bringing in updates and all that. And there's going to be tons of updates they're going to really have to work on. I mean, me, quite honestly, I'm just starting to get the hang of the face photo capture. Because it seems like where I'm at right now, if I was to zoom this out, if I was to zoom this camera out, like where you see me right now, if I was to zoom it out just a little bit more. Oh yes. All right. If I was to zoom it out just a little bit more, then yeah, that's basically, you got to be basically right there to where the photo capture allows you to capture your face, but you got to capture it to where you round it out. You basically got to work on it. It's not easy. It's complicated. Let's just say my first real attempt at it with the Nostalgia Critic CAW, and yeah, he's in it, didn't come out as well, and some of you might notice that. But anyway, like I said, you know, they introduced those kind of things, and those worked great. They brought them back, but it was just nothing more than a beta run. Nothing more than a beta run, if you will, you know, for them to see what they could do with the next-gen consoles. Now, quite honestly, folks, if I may, again, like I said, 2016 hopefully is going to be the start of Dcwa 2.0. Dcwa, as you know it, on courtesy of 2K14, its last CPV, which is short for, which is the creative wrestling term for pay-per-view, but it's free pay-per-view, if you will, on YouTube and Daily Motion and all that, will probably be between now and New Year's. When that happens, I will slowly, hopefully by then, be transitioning over to 2K16. So by then, the next CPV, or the first DCWA CPV of 2016, will be courtesy of that. Now you might ask yourself, well Brian, how do you plan to get the footage? Well, I've noticed that there are devices out there that allow you to get the footage edited together and stuff like that, and that's great, that's appreciated. But for me, it's more along the lines of the fact that I'm probably going to go a little old school. You see, I have this thing called the HDMI to AV converter, courtesy of Electric City. And that's basically how I've been watching a lot of my Blu-rays, playing my PS4 and everything on my regular television before I went to my Vizio Smart TV. And basically, this will allow me to disconnect my PS4, the HDMI part of it, connected to the converter, and then use the audio video cables that I think I have available to connect to that, and we should be good to go. Hopefully there's no copy protection or anything, so that we can be able to do that, because if there is, then we're going to be stuck probably going back to DCWA courtesy of 2K14, if that is the case. But I don't think so, because if there was, we wouldn't be able to upload our music and all. We wouldn't be able to upload the matches that we do courtesy of PlayStation. So I think we should be okay. I'm hoping we are. I really hope that we are. I'm not saying that's a possibility, but hopefully that might be the case. If not, then I'm probably going to have to go with the digital video recorders that they sell that allow you to do that. But I'm just letting you know that that's basically how the footage is going to be recorded. Now, it'll still be kind of like 480 in a sense, unfortunately, as you'll notice, but at least it'll be there. And again, my plan, my goal in 2016 is to try to get the first CPV up between January and WrestleMania season, which is about March and April. One of them, hopefully the first one will be a Royal Rumble-like event. If not, then the first one will officially be WrestleMania. So keep an eye out for that. Just a ton of stuff coming. There's a lot of characters that I've recreated thanks to the logo or face capture option we now have. I've been able to recreate, bring those characters back, finally give them the real faces, or faces that they're recognized with, instead of just, putting a human face and all that. And it seems I'm not the only one that's doing that. There are new characters I'm creating and downloading as well. Some characters I'm bringing in that currently are part of certain other creative CAW promotions or leagues. So keep an eye out for a lot of those. And really that's all I have to say. Like I said, the last CPV will be between now and the end of the year. And the first CPV, courtesy of 2K16, on the PS4 of DCWA 2.0, will be probably between January and March. I will be trying to get Raw and Thunder out on schedule during that time as well. But basically DCWA 2.0, it's going to be like a reboot, kind of a soft reboot, upgrade if you will. And just to let you people know, if you're wondering why I'm putting 2.0 or next gen after the DCWA name, I'm not the only one that's doing it. There's a lot of CAW promotions and leagues that are doing the same thing, just to get you guys established. Basically it's a temporary name, it's a temporary addition to kind of get you guys, you know, to kind of acknowledge to you guys that this is an upgrade to the next consoles, to the next gen consoles, where a lot of this is going to be happening. So I thought I'd just let you guys give you guys a bit of an update, let you know what's happening. And if you've got any comments, let me know down below. Support all the other CAW leagues and promotions out there. You'll get a kick out of them. And I will talk to y'all later.